after I ended stream yesterday, um, I was still in the trade in 350 and it hit PM high, so that was cool. Would I take the 5 minute? I don't think I would because I don't think the drawn liquidity to the downside is very good. And I think you're kind of playing with internal versus external here on the 30 minute, 15 minute, all this. Like this 30-minute order flow is still pretty bullish, right? We've held this several times. So I don't know if I want to fade that yet. Maybe if we like broke this gap here on the 15, I'd be inclined to look for shorts, but I think as long as we're holding this, I'd still be bullish. 1 minute back up. Let me check. Yeah, there's probably a 2 minute. Yeah, 2 minute here. No sweep. Oh, there is a sweep actually. Okay, so this is an A setup, I guess. There's like a 30-second here. You could long that to the 2, but I'm not going to do all that. Oh, there's a 1. Did it close above? Not close to the tick. Okay. Okay, genuinely, like the chase this morning was just on vibes. I don't have like a tier list of chase plays. I just figured it would work. This momentum was good before open, and then open just accelerated it. Like I don't, yeah, I don't really have a list of good chases. Basically, a good chase, you can only take a good chase when when you still have liquidity intact. If liquidity is taken, you shouldn't chase. Okay, that's like the one rule I would say about it. I hope that kind of helps. But yeah, I mean, you want volume, you want aggressive candles, and you want liquidity, and ideally the macro. But so pretty much all the same stuff. That 1 minute did not work. Yeah, we didn't close above. We closed to the tick. So it just never triggered. You wanted to ask about the trade around 9? Sure. Yeah, we had all these longs down here. I didn't really like any of them. Even Dodgy didn't signal any of these. The only thing he mentioned was the 5 minute long here, which like, sure, I guess. Cool. But you guys know me, I don't really like taking stop losses like this. And you would have had to hold the trade through open, which is a little risky, right? After open had established where price wanted to go based on momentum and the 15-minute inverse, that was like the cue that, okay, yeah, now we can go up. But before then, I don't know. I feel like kind of risky along there. Obviously, a lot of points that you have to put on the table. So there's 30-second inverse at 9 and hit the break even at the same time and inverse the next gap. Yes. So like this was interesting, right? And then it was just a break even trade to the tick. Yeah, and then we hit that. This is internal versus external, right? But the signature and price there is good because you have a CISD, right? You have a market structure shift, okay? And so like the other pieces of ICT plus liquidity are telling you that we're going to go up. We just didn't have the inverse there, which is part of the model. So it's important that we kind of get both. But yeah, I mean, structure there was bullish. Liquidity there was obviously bullish. So you could have definitely taken anything. There was a lot of people I saw longing in the chat all this way up because they knew that liquidity was still bullish. And then obviously there were people that took that 3 minute as well. And yeah, this one pretty far. That was good. That was the one. Okay, so 15-minute here holding. 5-minute holding. Kind of starting to come back up. 1 minute's going to inverse now, maybe. Running into a 4-minute gap. Gonna get the OB maybe. There was news at 10, yes. Yep, for that 3-minute. Would you ever take a long based on ES? No, I wouldn't. I don't take longs based off ES. Yeah, Lucid's working for me. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. The only thing is I would have gone break even there because yes, we inverse the external 30-second, right? But we still had like a 1 minute, and then obviously we had like a 5-minute there as well. So I still would have gone break even. But yeah, if sorry, this is 4 o'clock. There was like this 5-minute, right? But yeah, if there wasn't those gaps and we inverse that, yeah, you can wait to go break even. You're basically just taking the external setup there instead of the internal. Can I rate the 30-second short at 11:23? I think I was probably at 11:23. I don't like this because we just inverse bearish for value gaps to the upside, and then you're trying to fade the bearish inverse. I mean the bullish inverse with a bearish inverse, and there was no liquidity sweep. So yeah, I don't like that. But I see the vision, right? You want AM low, so the draw there makes sense. But yeah, we don't have delivery here. We don't have a liquidity sweep. Price inversing. Bearish for value gaps before we get that. Oh boy. Looks like we're going to take the 5-minute down. Do I ever check if ES inverses a gap and does that affect your decision? Oh, because Damo, you did the Discord review thing and you added that to your profile. So that's like your decoration. But yeah, sometimes I'll watch ES. Sometimes I will, but I'm mostly just doing it as like, okay, I'm already in this position. I need to see both indices inverse these for value gaps in order for me to think that price is going to go higher. That's really what I'm looking at it as, not as like an entry model. Yeah. Yeah, this is not good. Like, we don't want to trade in here yet. So how do we think this week was? Was it difficult? Was this week difficult? Including today, obviously. I don't think this week was too difficult, genuinely. You just had to recognize good PA versus bad PA. And then, you know, not force setups and be impatient. And like if you just waited, you were presented with a lot of opportunity this week. That's good, Mo. That's good. Would I want the 15-minute to inverse instead of taking the 5-minute only? Yes, I would need the 15 to inverse. I think that we're still bullish here, and I think this is just accumulation because we're holding this 30-minute gap pretty algorithmically. So I think we need to see this break, and what would I think cause this to break would be this 15-minute here inversing, not this 5. SMT holding good though, kind of, yeah. 30 up here, 30-second up, 1 minute up. Let me pull up Wordle. By the way, guys, I have sad news. Vert is no longer a part of PM. He canceled his subscription. I don't know why he's messaged me a couple different times explaining, and he's told me he's canceling a couple different times as well, and then he's resubbed. So I don't know. I didn't ask him this last time. I just yeah. I don't know why he canceled. Yeah, I don't know. Hey, that's okay, Damo. I get it. Yeah, I mean, I never hold it against somebody if they cancel. You know, it is what it is. I get it. We have life. We have expenses. We have, you know, changes in our work or whatever. Like, it is what it is. I like allowed. Ooh, okay. Okay, okay. Maybe amount would have been better, but that's a 6-letter word. Only for like 1 to 2 months, though, sure. Yeah, I think so, Travis. That's funny. Yeah, I know, Samuk. I know, I know. A sword? No S, unfortunately. What do we think? Maybe a long would have been a good one too, but no L. Can't be abort, no R. I don't know what this word is. Is this a word? No. That's not a word, right? Yeah. Oh, avoid would have been a good one, but no D. I'm not looking at chat. I'm gonna get this one on my own. Among? Among. Okay, so in three. Is California a good place to live for trading, like tax wise? Hell no. No, probably one of the worst. uh, where do I live? Michigan. I'm gonna have to jump off here early today. I have a meeting at 4. So we jump off at like 3:50 or something. I mean, yeah, living in California for the trading purposes is fine, but what I'm saying is like for taxes and cost of living, it's probably not good. Was there anything that could have signaled then post 11 a.m. dump? Because I started keeping an eye on shorts around 10:30, but I didn't have enough confirmation on the reversal because we were still bullish. Um, Honestly, that was tough today with shorts because we were anticipating the daily to get hit, and I guess maybe that was like maybe not the smartest thing in the moment because I remember taking into account this 1 hour gap here holding, like I mentioned this, and I was like, we could reject from here. Wait, that's not right. There you go. See, like we held this several times. So when we got that close to the daily, I figured we'd hit it, right? We came within like 10 points of it or whatever it was, but we missed it. And then here, when we get that like order flow switch or change or whatever, I don't know exactly where that was. I guess maybe it was truly here on this 1 minute. That's when you could have like looked for shorts. Yeah, the 5 minute closed too low. So yeah, that 1 minute breaking was like the key with the death candle. And you could have jumped in a short there, but that would have been break evened. And then if there was a confirmation setup off that, you could have taken that. But it looks like maybe the 30 seconds invalid. So yeah, you just missed the whole short. There's not really a valid entry here. And then you take the longs back up after. That's about it. Uh, I mean, yeah, I guess you could move to Miami if that's where you want to live. Yeah, Mark, I have a meeting at 4. By the way, I think I found a new accountant. He seems good. His name's Randy. And I'm actually meeting with him and I think one other person named Angela to discuss other things. So I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys watch The Office, but Angela's the accountant in that. I'm talking with an accountant named Angela. So ask him about how to lower taxes. Nah, I wasn't gonna do that, Shatka. Actually, I think we were just gonna talk about like our favorite type of food. Maybe have a coffee or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Fahrenheit, I'm joking. I'm joking. No, the conversation I had earlier with him at 11:30 was way better um, than the conversation previously. He told me about a couple of different things as far as my business, and basically he said we're going to be all good. He just communicated way better than the other guy. That was the bottom line. He just yeah. The other guy just couldn't communicate well. Does he cost more? Of course. Of course he does. He actually kinda. He kinda did. He was talking about some stuff, and I was like, okay, interesting. I don't know, guys. I don't know what his ethnicity is. It doesn't matter. I don't hire people based off ethnicity. I'm not gonna ask him about the vehicle. I'm not getting a vehicle. All right, we hold this 5 minute one more time. It's a write off. I can't afford a G wagon, bro. And it's only a write off if I use it for majority business purposes. Which, in order to do that, which we talked about in the past, I would have to use the vehicle for like 70% business, which I'm just not gonna do running an online business. Just trade in it. Yeah, literally, that's what I would have to do. I'd have to trade in it, trade in it, and drive places for content and make content in it. Like Just say you're driving to your office. I don't even think that counts. I don't even want a G-Wagon. I don't even like the G-Wagon. I'd rather get an RSQ8. How does the government know if you don't or do anyways? You can check mileage. Most car companies like have like geo trackers now too. Get a Urus at that point? Why would I get a Urus when I could just buy an Audi RSQ8? They're the same vehicle. Actually, now that we're talking about cars, I gotta show you guys this brand new car by Toyota that now is maybe a contender over the C8. This is nice. It's almost like a new LFA. Hybrid 4-liter twin turbo V8. Sized like an AMG GT. It kind of looks like a long-nosed Camry. It isn't the biggest looker. I'll have to have it grow on me, but I don't know. I really like the back. Red interior is not it. I don't like red interior. The seats are nice. I like that. Dude, this car is sick. Fully aluminum body. Apparently it's going to weigh 3,800 pounds and have 600 something horsepower, 680. Wait. It's going to cost 500K? I thought it was gonna be like 100 grand. $500,000 for that, bro. Come on, bro. All right, for a Toyota, man. Come on. I didn't know it was 500 grand. That's more than the LFA. I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be more reliable than the C8, but I can buy 5 C8s for the price of one of those vehicles. Yeah, LFAs are like, what, $1 million now or something? I did see that. The K trucks, that's cool, Sal. I actually like that. But now they just need to get rid of the 25-year import thing, and that'll two good changes, I'd like. Would I rather an older and better performing Demo always? Yeah, Sev, I got you. Dude, there's just no way that car's gonna cost $500,000. Dude, you could almost buy an Aventador for $500,000. Why the hell would you buy a Toyota? I know it's their Halo car, but literally, who is doing that? A V10 R8? Yeah, I'm good on that. I'd rather get the C8. Um, cost of maintenance and reliability would be an issue with that vehicle. I don't want to get a BMW. I don't really like the G80. I think the C8 looks better. Why not get an S8? No, I'm not getting an SUV. I'm talking about future cars. Oh, I'll buy a car one day for 500. Just get the AMG GT. No, I think the C8 is going to be better. I'm going to test drive both, but I think the C8 is going to be better. I keep getting, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the way the C8Z06 sounds. I can't get over it. I need a short. It's a flat plane V8. So it's the same as like a 458 or 488 or whatever. Yeah. Like an AMG GT isn't sounding like that. It's gonna sound more like a muscle car. But yeah, I'd get the C8Z06 and then replace it with like a titanium exhaust package. You'll follow in Bert's footsteps if you say a C8 sounds better. I think the C8Z06 sounds better than the AMG GT. And that wasn't even the best sounding one I've heard. There's like so many out there. Reliant Robin? I have no idea what that is. What do I think about the GT63S? I think it's a cool car. Reliant Robin? Okay. What the hell is this? Oh my god, I've seen this with Jeremy Clarkson, bro. Dude, that's so funny. He literally tips over, yeah. Bro. What about the 992 GT3 RS? If I had 992 GT3 RS money, I would just save up for an Aventador. An Aventador SVJ. I know it's like everyone's, favorite car in Miami. But there's a reason. It's a pretty sick car. Why not both? Yeah, one day. One day. Aventador has been like one of my dream cars since I was like 8, whenever it came out. I love the Aventador. Huracan Technica. You prefer the Huracan? Yeah. Yeah, I just don't like the way that the Huracan looks. It just looks like a cheaper version of the Aventador. Like the Aventador just looks so much more aggressive. I wouldn't buy a McLaren. Those things catch on fire. Maybe a P1. I don't even know if that's going to be the first one, though, the Trinity. I'd probably get the 918 Spider first. And then the Enzo. And then the P1. Or not the Enzo, sorry, the LaFerrari. Might get an R, that'd be cool. Huracan and R8 are the two most reliable supercars in existence? Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, I think the R8's very cool. Just get a Civic and put everything in Bitcoin. Why? So I can look at my wallet and see Bitcoin crash 30% and freak the fuck out. Or I can hop in my C8 Corvette and drive all over the country and hear an amazing exhaust and get so much enjoyment out of it. Interesting, NRL. I didn't know that. Huracan is just a remodeled R8. Interesting. Yeah. I know what you meant. Okay, so let's evaluate here. We have the 5 minute inverse to the downside, but like I said, isn't going to matter at all. Can you imagine if we'd taken this short? I mean, obviously we wouldn't have because the momentum there, but you can just see, like, as long as we're holding that 15 minute, none of this matters. It's just noise. So we have the 2 minute here. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Jahmyr Gibbs is on pace to be the best running back of all time. I know it's early to say that. It's early, but he's doing crazy numbers. And what's crazy is those numbers were split. Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back, one for the Detroit Lions. His numbers are literally split with David Montgomery, and he's still on pace to have more touchdowns than anyone in NFL history before the age of 24. I know. I know. It's a big change. The Lions win and a nice couple 100-point trades will do that. And accounting situation fixed, right? That's why we can't give up. Didn't he break? No, he tied it. He's tied it. So now he just needs to get like another touchdown and he'll break it by a considerable margin too. He doesn't turn 24 until like March. Okay, so super the high. Wait, maybe the 5 minute does matter. Maybe we will see this fall. That was a big death candle there. Maybe we'll get a repeat of yesterday. I know, Harvey. Everyone just needs to start, um, you know, taking setups off of when I say something's about to fail. But yes, Wig, how about them Lions? I will say I feel bad for you guys with CD. That's tough. He looked that was tough to watch. There were bad calls on both sides. I can't believe they didn't give us the safety. That was crazy. I was in the restaurant and I was like, how the hell was that not a safety? Wasn't point of contact with his both his feet in the end zone? Oh my god, bro, come. Okay, yeah, that's official NFL safety rule. They're making up rules, man. I mean, they do this every year with Detroit. I mean, there's a new rule that comes out. Yeah, exactly. Either or. Exactly. But if the game would have been lost by 1 or 2 points, yeah, the Cowboy season is probably over. Also, George Pickens looked like a pedestrian out there yesterday. But at least your other dude stepped up. I put in a waiver wire claim for him. He looks pretty good. Floron or whatever his name is. Yeah, I know. It was a bad concussion. CTE is gonna go crazy. Yes, I saw the hands. Yeah. Yep. Exactly like Tua. That's exactly what I thought of. Yeah, Flanoy. Flanoy is gonna be a good pickup for fantasy. What am I looking at, Tommy?
Go, go, go.
Oh God. Oh God.
One more and then send it. Get it out of here.
Oh God. Yo, chill, Tommy. You're going crazy. What are you doing? Bro, they're honking at you. Bro, what?
Fuck them.
What the hell was that? Bro. What's the keys to be profitable in 2026? Okay, here's what you got to do. You got to be patient. Step number one. Because learning and becoming profitable is a process that takes time. And taking trades, it's a very important skill that you need to master, right? Being patient. You're also going to want to make sure that you have built on the 5 characteristics that make a profitable trader, which is your analysis before the trade, the entry itself, analysis during the trade, the exit and psychology, and then being aware of, you know, what is kind of driving the market has been really helpful too. You know, Trump speaking, tariffs, what kind of sentiment the market's at. Like we could definitely see a pullback this next year, overall higher time frame, if it comes out that there's something wrong with AI, right? Being aware of that's important. And just getting better at anticipating. I think one of the biggest weaknesses that I've noticed with people in this Discord is they're not good enough at road mapping and anticipating when to take trades and visualizing an idea of what their next trade is going to look like. So getting better at that in 2026 is definitely going to make you a profitable trader. I talked about this in AM a little bit too. But yeah, really good question. I like that. Mark, how's your game of Roblox going right now? Yeah, gotta work on that, Harvey. Patience, right? The worst is when you had a real shit week personally, but it seems like everybody else is having a fantastic, amazing week, right? So, one thing maybe that you can work on in 2026 as well is removing the point of comparison, right? And putting it on yourself. The only thing that you should be worried about when taking trades is improving your process, your plan, your skills. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. Okay? We got to remove that focus. And that's also another issue that a lot of people in this Discord face is just struggling to be content with where they are and rushing the process and letting comparison, by others affecting their ability to trade. Yeah, so the order block is like an extra confluence to the IPG because what it tells you is okay, we've created an area in price that's completely efficiently traded, and we've completely disrespected a bearish for value gap, indicating that price wants to go to the next level of liquidity above or below. Okay, so when we get this bullish OB paired with that draw higher, all it's going to do is say, okay, there's no reason to go lower now. You have to go up. Okay, that's what's nice about an OB plus an IPG. You have the buy side of the curve efficiently balanced, and you have the sell side of the curve telling you, okay, we actually want to go up now to take that swing high. I'm sorry to hear that, Tommy. That's really difficult, man. That's really difficult. All the mistakes that stopped progress were mental, nothing to do with chart knowledge. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense. Do you think that same applies to the bearish 5 minute we have now? No, and the reason why is because you have to pair that OB with an inverse that tells you that order flow is going to the next point of liquidity. So I guess with this 5 minute inverse, price is telling you that, okay, we should go to this low inside the gap here. But what's really telling you order flow isn't that 5 minute, because this 5 minute was never respected and made a higher high out of, right? We've talked about significant gaps in the past. Because this wasn't a significant gap, it's not telling us order flow at all. So we could still have bullish order flow here with this bearish inverse, okay? Because this 15 minutes holding. This 15 minutes is our significant gap. This is the one that's actually holding price. So if we had a 15-minute OB plus the 15-minute inverse, then we could say confidently, okay, price is most likely going to go for lunch lows now. But once again, like even right now, kind of popping back up. Just really bad delivery. This is horrible price action. Obviously, we're not taking any trades in this. Just kind of watching. There is another 15 below that 15. Exactly. Yep. There's the 15 minute to the left here, right? Is that what you're talking about? This one. When you say a gap is significant or not. So yeah, the 5 minute, in order for this gap to be considered significant, so there's a difference between significance and obviousness, okay? And the way that I use the definition, maybe you've heard it differently from somebody else, but in order for a gap to be considered significant, it has to cause price to make a higher swing high. Okay, so we have to respect it and make a higher swing high, or we have to hold it for like a long period of time historically, right? Like it has to be kind of like a point of resistance, right? That's when it becomes significant. That hasn't happened yet. Like, yes, these candles held price inside the 5 minute for a long period of time, but I don't think it's good enough yet. Like, it needs to be. Like, let me find an example. Like something like this, right? Like this is historically significant. We've held it several times for a lot of different, um, you know, moves down. But obviously, like this was like when the initial gap became significant right here on this first down move. So now we know, okay, this gap needs to break in order for us to go to this high. Okay, and as long as this is holding, we're never going to hit this high. Okay. And so now we've respected it once, twice, and now because we didn't break it on this move up, a third time. Okay. Let me see if I can find another example of like a significant gap. That's just based on history, not like a move down or up. This one kind of this hourly gap, right? But there's like more obvious 15 minutes and stuff below, so it doesn't really count. Kind of that hourly, like something like this would definitely tell me, even though we haven't re-hit this high, this is a significant gap, right? So if this breaks, that would tell us order flow has maybe shifted. But you have also to keep in mind like other gaps too in this thing, right? Like maybe down here there was a 5 or something. I don't know. You get the gist. Yeah. Like we held this gap 1, 2, 3, 4. We were in it for 5 candles, which I don't think is enough time. That was only 25 minutes. When we're talking historical significance, we're talking like entire intraday moves contained within a candle, or like entire sessions, something like that. Not just 25 minutes. Yeah, it's because this 15-minute below is actually our condition for order flow. And it's not just the 15, it's also this 30-minute gap, right? So on the higher time frame, we're holding bullish higher time frame order flow. And I want that order flow to align on the lower time frame as well in order for me to be confident about taking a setup. Until that's happened, which would be when we inverse this 15-minute, I'm not convinced that this 5 minutes a good short. It's still playing out though. I mean, I think I would have been break even on this, but I don't know. I guess it's playing out. Yeah, the 25Ks are pretty good. Demo, that would be cool. But yeah, I know it's like difficult to understand. And what's nice is Dodgy actually made a really nice screenshot with this exact concept back in 2023. So I'll post it in the chat and I'll bring it up on the screen here. But this is basically what I'm getting at, okay? So let's apply this to our current situation. So we have the 15-minute that's holding price that's significant that made a higher high, okay? In this scenario here that I'm showing on the screen, we have a 5-minute bullish gap, okay, that's holding price. And we're just on the, I think the 1-minute time frame right now. But on the 5-minute, there's this gap that's holding price. Despite order flow and market structure changing on the 1-minute time frame here, right? None of this really matters when we start to inverse bullish PD race to the downside here. None of this matters because this 5-minute still holding, okay? So higher time frame order flow really depends on this 5-minute fair value gap and nothing else happening here, okay? If we go back and we look at this example that we're looking at here, it's kind of the same thing, right? We have this 15-minute gap that's holding price here, okay? Meanwhile, the 5 minutes kind of just doing whatever, right? Do you see the comparison between the two? It's hard to go heavy in shorts until order flow changes, 5-minute bullish FVG gets violated, or textbook bearish OB forms. So why not look for longs? We can look for longs, but there just hasn't been a good opportunity yet. What here is telling you to long? I mean, the only good long here was this one, right? This 1 minute that, was a break even. Yeah, yeah, for sure. This is pure chop, exactly, right? So another piece of this puzzle is recognizing the price conditions, right? Is it actually smart to take a trade in these conditions? For those of you that are new to PM, Friday afternoons are typically choppy. We sometimes get moves in the last hour to like complete like power of 3 on the daily or whatever it is, but most of the time the moves have played out throughout the week already. We've ran all the liquidity, so usually after expansion and very little draws remaining, we get this consolidation type thing. What would be the condition for a dream scenario for the long? Probably a sweep of this low while holding the 15-minute gap. But that probably doesn't make sense. So we're probably just not going to get a dream scenario here. There really isn't a good dream scenario. Maybe even like a sweep of low of day, or like not low of day, sorry, session low, like down here. Like they're just. The problem is we need to come down to this low in order to get a dream scenario long because we violated this lower time frame gap to the left here. So we need to see price complete here first. But if we were to do that, we'd probably end up inversing this 15-minute gap. So the problem with looking for our dream scenario long is it invalidates our dream scenario long. It's like a what's that called? A catch 22 or no, but there's like another word for it. Um yeah, contradiction, sure. Not paradox. Yeah, it's a paradox. Right? That's the definition for it. Yeah. Robbie, I don't know if you're in stage right now, but yeah, I can pull it up. This is now, I think, what, the fourth day in a row I've had somebody ask me to show the indicator settings that I have. Yeah, the only way, if a new 15-minute FEG open sweeps the low, creating a lot of volume and making a V-shaped IPG. Yeah, something like that, Giuliani. Okay, so, bro. I thought you're in analysis paralysis, but when I think that way, but turned out it's logical. Um, what part of it? Dude, I don't know why this happens. Every single time I get a winning trade, somebody posts a poll and it's like just complete recency bias. But like I guarantee you, I take a losing set of AM, nobody feels that way. Okay? Like at the end of the day, it's his shit. It's dodgy server, right? Like I'm never ever gonna take over AM streams, guys. It's just not happening. I did the AM stream today, Green Emerald. We caught this 30-second long. I called out that I was taking it to the data high. We actually got an OSFL setup for the first time that worked. It was beautiful. Realistically, that's like a better stop. Make sure I get a cut. I am getting a cut, guys. Not of the AM stream revenue, but this. This is my cut. Think about this. Ryan has built the funnel for all of these people to be here, right? Okay? He has the subscribers. He has the marketing. He has everything, right? He has the support. There's so many moving pieces to this Discord, and I didn't have to do any of it, okay? I joined after the fact. I'm the leech, exactly. I'm the leech, okay? I'm the one taking advantage of the funnel. I'm the one taking advantage of all of his social media growth, okay? So, that's why I'm cool with doing AM. That's why I'm like, you know, like, if I were to have to start over and be where he's at, do you know how long that would take me and how lucky I'd have to get? Exactly. That's why we work well together. Exactly. Looking to set up a one-on-one with you. Do I schedule that after I purchase? Yeah. So if you just go to my WAP, there's a little calendar bookings app that's on the website, and you can go there. And I have availability, I believe, all next week, and you can set up a booking, on any day that you like. Normally, the best days to book are usually on news days. So if you want to take a look at Forex Factory before you book and pick a day that has good news, um, that would be my only recommendation. But yeah, whatever you want to set up a one-on-one, just let me know when you set it up. Send me a little confirmation in Discord, like a DM or whatever, and yeah, that way I know that you booked and we're good. Honestly, so I was friends with Dodgy Green Emerald, and I saw an opportunity. There used to be a PM stream before me in the Discord that was paid, and they ended up leaving to go start their own thing. And I was like, listen, man, there's this opportunity that's presents itself, and I know you need somebody to help cover streams from time to time. So, would you want to work something out? And he said, yeah. Where did Amy and Oksana go? I think they went and started their own thing. If I pay me via PayPal, do I get it cheaper? Um, Not necessarily cheaper, but like you might not have to pay VAT. So I guess it would still be 200, but maybe if you live in like the UK, it would be like 240, I think, for the UK. How about two streams in parallel so people can? No, no, no. See, that's silly. It's like, what's the point? Where do we find my WAP? Yeah, Paul, I think you just posted the link. There you go. Yeah, I might be the reason some stay, but I mean, out of 40,000 people in here, you really think I'm influencing that many people? Even if Dodgy made me stream full time, I would still do it. Even if I started covering AM for every single stream. Yeah, for free. Let's suppose we didn't chop and I'm willing to take, but that would never happen, right? Because like he's the face of the brand. Like it just doesn't make sense for me to stream. That's why like I'm even saying that because it's completely unrealistic. Let's suppose we didn't shop and I'm willing to take risk given the break-even position was decent. Would the 5 minute be okay? Now that I understand the order flow hierarchy, if I have high conviction and draw. So yeah, the order flow hierarchy thing, like the chart that we're referencing, adjusts depending on the draw, right? Like if in terms of liquidity, it makes sense to take this 5 minute inverse, you still take it, even if there's like a significant gap that's holding the price, right? Because liquidity is always going to matter more. But in this scenario where we don't really have a good idea of what the draw on liquidity is, it's better to wait for the significant gap to break if you're even going to take a trade. But ultimately, what's most important is just waiting for the draw, like waiting for the market to tilt its head and tell you what the draw is. Does streaming make me a better trader? Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. I'll make adjustments, Braden, as Dodgy, you know, tells me, right? And we'll talk and I don't know. But all this is hypothetical. Guys, like nothing's changing. Dodgy just went on a trip to Alaska for a week. Like to marry I don't know what he was doing in Alaska, Tom. Hell yeah, Swig, I'll join. So we should all start streams? I guess so, yeah. I've always told you guys, one way to improve your trading is genuinely to start a video journal of yourself and just record yourself like trading. So I just explained because of the like I wouldn't do it because part of part of the work that goes into building a server this big isn't just streaming. That's not it. It's making the content. It's marketing. It's spending money on YouTube ads. It's there's so many more pieces to it than just streaming. Okay? So would you say liquidity? Yes. Yes, yes. I mean, you want liquidity and order flow to align, not necessarily that one is more important than the other. There's this piece of not this piece of but this what's it called? This thing I posted. Okay, here you go. So replace delivery here for order flow. And this is essentially the gist. If we have bearish order flow and a bearish draw, then you have a bias, okay? That's the only time you take a funded trade. If you don't know the order flow, if you don't know the draw, then you don't have a bias. If you have bullish order flow and a bearish draw, you don't do anything. If you have a bearish order flow and a bullish draw, you don't do anything. If you don't have clear order flow, meaning we're just chopping, or you don't have a clear draw, you just do nothing. Okay? That's the gist. That's in the pinned education stuff. Michael, it is completely individual dependent. It's completely independent person to person. It really just depends. And it also depends on the conditions of the market, right? If the conditions for the market are bad one year and you're learning how to trade, then it doesn't matter how good of a trader you become in that first year if the data just isn't there because the market was bad that year, then you're going to be a losing trader even though you were like you understood what you were doing. Now, have I ever seen the market be unprofitable for IFPGs in a year? I have not. Have I seen weeks and maybe even a month where it wasn't profitable? Yes. Okay. That's why it's important that you stick with trading for, several months or maybe even a year before like deciding what you're going to do long term, because trying it out for a couple weeks and then giving up is not necessarily giving you enough information and enough data to really determine if the model or trading is right for you. Also, you lose a lot of like privacy when you post on social media all the time. Okay. And I kind of like just having our little community here, right? I'm kind of like shielded from the rest of the world. If I started having to post on social media, that opens it up to like everyone, which is like, I don't know, I value my privacy. It's nice. Is that all written in the PDF? What PDF? Green Emerald. Are the screenshots pinned? Yeah, if you guys go to the PM chat and you look at the pinned messages, all of those pinned messages are like little pieces of like of sauce. If you guys want to like, look at those. For sure, MM, for sure. Yeah, for sure, Green Emerald, for sure. 2 minutes to clear this LRLR. Uh, off like the rejection block, maybe? I mean, maybe an eval trade. I don't know. I would. Here's another scenario where it's like significant gap, insignificant gap. Which one breaking here is going to be the important one that tells us we're flipping bullish lower time frame order flow? Is it this one or this one? In these price conditions, you want the significant gap to break, right? So probably best to just wait for this gap, right? Oh, and the one on WAP. Oh, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look at that yet. Do I watch volume when taking trades as well? Not really. I just kind of watch what the candle does in live time. Um, and that kind of tells me if like the candle's high volume or low volume, but I'm not really looking at like the hard data on it, right? It's a lot of visual cues, specifically like how volatile the candle is, and how much displacement there is, and what time it is, right? Like I know that there's going to be higher volume candles at 9:30 versus 2:30, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I say volume, I mean like the visual representation of volume, not the hard data, right? What checklist are you referencing? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, 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 from the pinned messages. Yes, exactly. Wait, where? I'm looking. I don't see it. Based on our order flow / liquidity discussion, an example came in my mind. Can you take a look at it? If yes, it's a 3 minute short IPG in London kill zone. Yeah, let's take a look at that. 3 minute from London. Okay. Yes, I'm looking. Are you talking about this? Okay, so yeah, this one failed, right? Maybe there was like an inception gap here that held. Okay, so this one actually didn't fail because the 1 minute inception gap here holds. So whenever you have like set up like this, you can go down to the lower time frame and look at the gaps there, and if there's a significant or not significant but obvious gap that forms, you can include that in the size of the stop loss, right? So you can see here the 3-minute inverses, but then if you include that 1-minute inception gap, that never breaks, and then this ends up working. Draw on liquidity was bearish, but order flow was bullish. Yes, so when we take out the draw on liquidity, okay, this is how I've taught it in the past. Whenever we take out that external draw, in this case it was previous day high, order flow goes neutral, okay? Because now that we've taken the draw, we don't know what price is going to do after that draw has been taken. The way that we check to see what price is going to do is we look to see what fair value gaps are going to be respected and disrespected after that liquidity sweep, okay? And if we start to disrespect bullish PDA raise after a liquidity sweep, that's the sign that lower time frame order flow has shifted. Okay. If we respect bullish PDA raise after the sweep and we continue to disrespect bearish, then order flow remains bullish, right? So that's how like order flow is decided in that moment, right? So even though we're not inversing the significant gap there, the significant gap only really applies when we haven't taken out the draw on liquidity. But once we've taken out the draw or we've hit the inefficiency on the higher time frame or whatever, that's when you look to say, okay, maybe order flow has an opportunity to shift. Okay. Yes, higher time frame order flow, when we took out previous day high here, went neutral. Okay. Higher time frame and lower time frame order flow went neutral when we took the extremity of the range. So then when we have the opportunity to switch order flow in the lower time frame, that's when you can, obviously take a trade. But order flow in the higher time frame, even though we inverse this 3-minute, is still neutral. Like we don't really know if order flow has shifted on the higher time frame yet. What we have to do is look for a gap on the 15-minute plus time frame and use that to determine whether order flow has shifted bearish on the higher time frame. And here there really isn't one. So this isn't really a good example, but what we could do is look at like right now and we could use like this 15-minute, okay? So would I have ever taken that personally? The 3-minute short? Sure. Yeah, that's a good short. Swept out previous day high. Get our manipulation leg up here. Take a short. There's not really any roadblocks. We kind of have that unfilled gap below. Right? Maybe. I don't know. There's something there. This is Thursday. There's something here. There's like an unfilled gap here. I know it. Yeah, unfilled hourly. Unfilled 4-hour, right? So you could take that short trying to target this. Trying to target like maybe 50 or something, right? On the 15-minute. Like this. Target these lows because they line up with it. We do that. And then obviously it's a break even, right? Or scale plus break even, whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, ultimately we actually came back for that hourly, so, or 4-hour. And I missed the 3-minute. Oh wait, no, there wasn't. Okay, so yeah, the 2-minute broke. Yeah, the 2-minute inverse worked. Wow, but it was a break even. Well, you could have waited to go break even until that high, I guess. Right, there's not really any roadblock to the left there. No reason to like go break even when we're that close. We left an inefficiency behind that needed to be balanced. So maybe an opportunity to be discretionary and just wait till that high gets hit. And then take profit there, obviously. Yeah, this 2 minutes going to pump. And it was the macro, too. Actually, this was a good eval trade. Kind of. Actually, no. No, it wasn't a good eval trade because we just talked about this, right? This significant gap here needed to break, and it did. So I guess the 1 minute here would have been fine. With that momentum. This was like a gamble right off the rejection block. Yes, yes, exactly, EJ, exactly. Did I see what Apex sent back for your ticket? No, what'd they send you? Um, unless the momentum is really good, MM. If the momentum is really good, then you can just take whatever's the first to inverse. Assuming it aligns with the draw on liquidity as well. You have to make 11 grand to request a payout? Oh hell nah. Did you have like a consistency rule problem? Like what why? Yeah, when momentum dies, that's when you rate. Top step, what about him? He said Apex. Oh, new rule? What's their new rule? Yeah, really good questions, MM. Yeah, we spent like a whole week on this stuff at some point this summer, so yeah, you're asking the right questions. That's why like yesterday, for example, right? Or not yesterday, whenever it was, whenever we got that amazing long, let's go back to that and kind of look at that from the perspective of order flow, okay? It was here, right? Yes. So here, price was in a weird spot, okay? We were just chopping. We were inside. We didn't really know what we wanted. The hourly was all over the place. Order flow in the higher time frame, we couldn't really determine because there wasn't really any gaps there, okay? So like higher time frame order flow, I'd say here is like neutral. Like we don't really know. Obviously, we're kind of bearish here off this move down, okay? But intraday here, price was just kind of in like seek and destroy, right? We sweep a low, we come back up, okay? We sweep a high, we come back down, okay? So that was another thing that was like really nice that I didn't mention yesterday about this long. Obviously, you know, it's in hindsight now me saying it, but I was talking about this at lunch with Plyo. We recognized the market profile to this day of being seek and destroy, right? And so when we get this move down, we've kind of already established, okay, when we take out the extremities of a range, which are oftentimes session liquidity, high a day, low a day, whatever, order flow goes neutral. Okay, so when we hit the low there, sure, we wanted to see price come down to these lows down here, run the equal lows, whatever. But can we assume that price is going to go down there, or do we have to wait to see the reaction at the low first to figure out, okay, if we're still bearish, right, when we take that extremity? So that's why yesterday's long was so good. That's why it was like an A setup, right? Even though we didn't have delivery, right? Because you gotta wait for that reaction to the lows being ran. Even though there's no delivery to the left there, we don't know what gaps are being respected and disrespected. Um, if we go to the left here, I mean, I think there was like a 5 or 1 minute or something that was holding. But what's most important there is just gauging that reaction at the extremity, right? Isn't this a good short? So we've kind of talked about this already, but yeah, the 15-minute holding here doesn't really make me want to short. As far as like the setup itself, the 2-minute here actually looks pretty good, right? That reaction at the high, still respecting the 5-minute bearish gap that sent us down. So yeah, I mean this short probably works for at least a scalp down to this low. Especially if you put in the 1-minute order block. But yeah, I'm not interested in any shorts until this 15-minute breaks here. I would rather just kind of watch. But yeah, we have relative equal lows at PM low here. We have the start at 3 o'clock. This is probably going to work right down to that low. I'd give it like mechanically it's A plus obviously, and then subjectively, well, no, it's not singular, right? I guess the 2-minute was singular, so yeah. Mechanically this would be A plus. Subjectively this would be kind of like a B setup, I think. But yeah, maybe we can take it just for fun. Sorry, today's kind of been like an education day. So I wasn't really like paying attention to the chart at the moment. I was looking back at yesterday. I kind of missed this. Did I see Mark B's tweet? No, I didn't. I didn't even know he was still trading. I'm new to PM. How do you base your draw since the AM must meet the day's objectives? Honestly, sometimes like we leave the draws from AM, but most of the time my PM objectives are like higher time frame unfilled gaps, or like lunch lows, lunch highs, or like PM low, PM high. Obviously, we can look at like things like previous day low, previous day high. But yeah, I mean, it's also like sometimes we have data candles that form, or news candles, right? We have FOMC. So pretty much all the same things that in AM, you just kind of have to look at it a little bit differently. But yeah, lunch highs and lunch lows and PM kind of get treated like London highs and London lows. Okay, so the 1-minute OB got respected there. That was nice. Like I said, break even at this low here. For sure, Richard. I'm just scared to pull up Twitter anytime I'm on stage, dude. Twitter is a scary place. But let me read part of the tweet that I can see. It says, "While I haven't posted before and probably won't post again, I felt compelled to come out of silence and share this thread about a very surprising / disappointing experience with my primary firm partner, Top Step." Okay. ... Why? I don't know. That's what the thread I'm guessing is gonna explain. But currently, I'm watching this trade, so I'll take a look at it after. But yeah. Oh, we have an SMT at that low. I just noticed that. Okay, so there is an SMT at that low inside the gap. We want to see that break for sure. No, you're good, Shotgun. You're good. Do you guys see any chance of seeing 767 or above today? Maybe. Maybe if we start moving at 3, but this is pretty bearish right now, so probably not for the time being. That was a good reaction. This is moving so slow. That's crazy, Kiyoshi. So he's just upset because he got PIP'd. Gotcha. All right. So I've known, well, the last, I don't really know Mark anymore, but when I knew him, he I he doesn't trade with a model, okay? He just kind of takes whatever. So I feel like maybe that could have influenced their decision or something happened. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go break even there. And let's see if we can get down to 7:02 p.m. low here for 25 points. That would be nice. Am I taking this off? No, this was an eval trade. I just took it on eval. I just took it when price tapped the order block there. Because yeah, mechanical A plus setup I'll take on eval every time, even if I don't necessarily agree with the draw itself. What made this one better than the 5 minute earlier? Delivery. The 5 minute didn't really have delivery here. This one had delivery off the 5 minute gap to the left. And the 2 minute getting tapped into. So reaction off last gap in the leg, bearish reaction to the high being swept. The 5 minute earlier didn't have a liquidity sweep. This one did have a liquidity sweep. Isn't gap a little too small to be considered A plus? The 2 minute is too small, yes. The 3 minute is too small. Yeah. I'm just saying like the combine of like the 1, 2, and 3 minute is A plus. The signature in price is A plus. But yeah, no, overall like the gap is too small. We like to target 4 points. You were relying on the SMT as a sweep replacement for the. Oh, that's fair. Okay, in that case, I guess the biggest thing then it would be a momentum, relative momentum. The 5 minute took many candles to close here. The 1 minute was pretty quick about it, right? 4 candles. Also, I think maybe the break-even target is better than the 5 minute. Break-even here is pretty easy to see, right? Just that low inside the gap. So this 30-second long is kind of interesting. Swept a low in the last gap in the leg. V-shape back up. Just kind of seems like more choppy price conditions. We have to inverse this one too, I think. There's probably a better 1 minute there. No, there's not. Okay. We need to see these 30-second gaps break. Anything today? No, not yet. Not yet. I'm in an eval short right now, Samu. But yeah, hasn't completed. If we can get this 30-second inverse, I think it completes at 7:02. Because realistically, this should hold if we're going to hold this gap. And if we inverse this gap, we'll go to the low. Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. I'm just going to respect it. Which one? The, like, 2-minute inverse here. I entered at, like, 7:27.50. The 2, 3, 1 minute. All of those. I'm fading me right now? Yeah, I mean, I would fade me too. That looks like a pretty bullish reaction. And this aligns with order flow a little bit better. This would be like a mechanical, I guess, A minus setup maybe. I don't really like how like price tapped into this small 30-second for value gap above here. Because technically that makes this lower one invalid. But the signature and price here is good because we made a 30-second gap off this gap and respected it. That's what you should be doing if price is still bullish. Well, that's what price should be doing if we're bullish. I like that we put in the 1 minute OB here for longs. Did you see what I sent? Yeah, sorry, I'm managing a trade and reading chat. Give me a sec. You're in this long on funded Maj? Okay. Interesting. So we got fade wars happening right now. No, the draws aren't good. I don't know why Maj is taking this unfunded, but I believe. Okay, well, I just got break even there. Let me go take a look. Thank you for reaching out, and I'm happy to walk you through exactly what the system is showing and what you'll need to do to clear the windfall violation on your account. Based on the screenshot you provided, the system was flagged the windfall on one of your apexes from November, where you closed P&L for that day of 3,400, which represents 105% of the total profits accumulated since your last approved payout. Under the 30% rule, no single trading day may exceed 30% of your total profits. Yes, you need to make 11. Yes, that is typical Apex. Yes. You need to make $11,000, and then you can finally request a payout. That's in their rules. I've actually been denied for that before, so yeah, I got it. Yeah. So that's why I've set up my profit targets for the day, and why I've instituted that system to cycling accounts, you know, throughout the day, because if I make too much profit in a single day on those accounts, then I have to make more profit in the long term in order to request a payout. That's why it's really beneficial, you know, having your account segmented and also making sure that you're not exceeding that, like, either $700 and something a day buffer for the 50K accounts and $450 for the 25K. How's it going with Lucid? Yeah, Lucid is still, I think, the best firm. I'm at about 1,800 in profit on those, so I still have a little ways to go before getting those funded. But yeah. I've just been trading like one mini on them and taking them serious. I don't like going heavy on accounts that you have to pay a lot and don't have an activation fee. They're kind of like, that's how I traded the MFFUs in the past too. I just took them slow and steady, so that's what I'm doing with these. So you end up wasting a lot of money on accounts if you do that. Yeah, it gets expensive to flip. Yes, yeah. It's like for the round trip, it's I think 400 or something. So, I mean, you blow up once, that's already $800 before you get a payout in cost. I don't do 10% or lower APOP. What I do is I go like 1-to-1 risk to reward. And I try and target 25 points profit and 25 points drawdown, or less if the risk is less. So like on this trade, I entered on the Lucids and I took it with a mini, and I had my stop above the OB, and I was targeting 25 points. And I just try and do that twice a day, and I'm gonna try and get the account done in like 6 trades. So what I do is I try and target 25 points or $500 profit, or you know, a little bit more, a little bit less, given the TP, and I risk whatever the stop loss is for that trade, up to 25 points. Okay, so 1-to-1 risk, and I try and do that like twice a day until I pass the accounts. Like once in the morning, once in the afternoon. Yeah, it gives myself like 4 to 5 losses before I blow it, and you know, that usually doesn't happen. Is the reason I entered on the 2 instead of the 5? Honestly, it's because I didn't see the 5 minute. I didn't check the 5 minute time frame before I entered. But also, if you look at the 2 minute here, it's still valid because the 2 minute entry is here, so you just go break even when the 5 minute gets tapped into. Did I do that? No, I just entered off the order block because I figured we'd come down to this low. But yeah, no, typically whenever you have an IFG on a lower time frame that allows you to enter before that fair value gap on the other time frame gets hit, you can do that. Maj, your funded trade is working, man. No, no, I honestly just didn't see it. I saw the 2 minute V shape there off the high. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. This looks like we could be bearish to this low. 500 ape off. So like I enter with a mini. I just size a mini every single trade. And I leave a hard stop at 25 points if the stop loss is greater than that. And I have a take profit set at 25 points. And I usually try and take trades that I have less. Was the long and A setup? Not really. I don't know. It's okay. The draw on liquidity isn't very good there, right? Isn't that like a protected high? Yeah, you're targeting a protected high, so I don't think it can be A plus. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Ape off. Yeah, I mean, I just try and target 25 points, right? I mean, if I have to make like an adjustment because it doesn't make sense for the profit target to be 25 points, like let's say we're like 20 points into the trade and we're running into a higher time frame bearish gap, I'm going to take the 20 points instead of the 25, right? But I'm like ballparking 25 points each trade and I'm keeping my risk, capped. And I'm not over trading. I'm not taking too many setups. Did I see that? I did not. Whoa. I can get a base model Tacoma for $86 a month. Interesting. Just for evals that have like uh that are expensive on the eval phase and don't have a funding fee. For Apexes, I full port those. I could care less. They're so cheap. 6K down? Well, there you go. 6K down. Is that a lease or is that the okay. That makes sense. Yeah, that's probably not that cheap, right? Yeah, just one mini Shetka. Yeah, news passing or even like off open like today. I would have full ported Apexes, but unfortunately I can't buy anymore. Um, nah, that's okay. You're whipping the AMG. I put 500 down. Damn. What's your monthly payment? 3K? 700? Dude, why even put any money down at that point? Why not being able to buy more evals on Apex? I've been banned by them. I can only request payouts from my fundeds, but I can't buy more evals, and the reason why is because I was flipping funded accounts doing that strategy. So like what I would do is I would get funded, I would build up a buffer. But this was like back in the old Apex payout strategy. Um back when like you could like get to the buffer and then request a payout, right? I have 20 con. Dude, Apex used to be so much better, guys. You really missed out if you weren't there for it, but yeah, that's why I switched to MFAU at the beginning of this year and a little bit last year. It's because Apex went from being able to request at the 26-6 or 20 or 52-6 profit targets for the full account balance. And now you have to have a buffer. Does Apex go live? Yeah. So it's your fault they changed? I mean, I'm guessing a lot of people did it. But yeah, that's what I used to do. What do I risk on an eval account? It just depends. But normally like 500 a trade on 50Ks. $500 down because of the initial. What do you mean? Oh, I mean, Fundeds have been great. Caught that play this morning. That was nice. Oh yeah, Amo. So basically, what I would do is I would buy accounts like 5 or 10 at a time. I would get them passed to funded. I would trade them unfunded, and then I would take a payout over the 5 accounts for the max amount, like a 10K payout, and then I would only have a few $100s left in the buffer. So what would happen? I would end up blowing those fundeds, and then I would just do it again and buy more evals, and get them to the funded phase, pay the funding fee, and then get a payout, and then blow them. And I just did that over and over again. And the thing is, because they're simulated funded accounts and they're not live, Apex isn't making any money off of it, and they're having to pay me every single time from their cash reserves, right? From their evaluation fees that they collect or whatever, right? And they don't want that out of a trader long term. They just want to see profits and get somebody to a live account so that they can just share the money and they can copy trade on their trading platform or whatever, right? That's why I'm banned from buying more evals because they don't want me flipping accounts anymore. But now you can't even do that because of the drawdown thing. So I don't know why I'm still banned from buying evals. They literally have fixed that issue by changing the rules, but I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah, exactly, Maj, exactly. Yeah, the initial fees. I don't. I segment my accounts, right, Kiyoshi? So like I'll take like 5, accounts at a time or 10 accounts at a time, and I'll take them, you know, I'll take a trade with them. And then once I take a win or a loss, I'll switch accounts and I'll trade like my MFFUs, which are I have 5 of. And then if I win or lose on that, then I'll just be done for the day. And then I do the same thing when I go to PM, right? If I have winners from AM, I don't trade on those accounts. I trade on a fresh set of accounts. And then I just do that over and over again. Con, I have a plan. I have a plan, so I'm not gonna have to talk to Dodgy, but I have something in the works that I might be able to do. Okay. I will tell you if it works. I'll tell you if it works. But the other thing is too, I don't need new Apex evals because I have 20 for one, and for two, I I can't flip them anyway. So I would treat Apex completely differently now, which is what I've been doing. I've been growing a buffer on them. Yeah, crypto, it's been horrible. You're gonna scale more Apexes for CPI? That's a good idea. So with the Apex sale that's going on right now, guys, I wouldn't full port Apexes. I would trade them carefully because they're expensive right now and they have a cheap funding fee. But I'm pretty sure you can only take advantage of that funding fee during the sale, so it's like it's silly. That's why. No, they're $70 and then it's a $6 funding fee. Or something like that. Or 78. So we can't hedge Apex evals anymore? I think you can. You just can't trade hedge with evals and fundeds. Yeah, Maj, that's a good idea. Yeah, risk like 300. That'd be good, Giuliani. Yeah, Green Emerald, I guess. Yeah. High speed, I kind of just explained it. If you want to go back in the recording, basically, it's just because of the strategy that I used to get payouts in the past. I just can't buy more evals. I don't remember, Con. Really, Paula? That's stupid. I didn't know that. So I guess yeah, you can't hedge news. You're saying you can't hedge news anymore? Sounds good. Okay, Paula, for sure. Is hedging when you short on one account and long on the other? Yes. Trade copy or trade copia, yeah. Ape off. I don't know. I think it might be 10 seconds, Green Emerald. I'm not sure. Any instant funny? I think Tradeify Ape off, but honestly, I think it's just better to just pass evals. Yeah, for sure, Giuliani. Travis, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. I have a plan. I have a plan. I have a plan. I will tell you guys if it comes to fruition, but I don't want to like hype it up and then fail and whatever. So I have a plan right now, and so far it's going well. But if I was somebody who was just like working with 20 accounts over the buffer, I would probably get the accounts to like maybe double the drawdown before taking a payout and take like the max and then, you know, grow it more, maybe triple the drawdown, take the max, so on and so forth. I mean, you got to pay the trader, right? The price reward for eval is like 10x better, right? For what? Am I the most goated mentorship student? Be honest, I don't know. What are we rating by? Looks. Like, what are the characteristics? What am I what am I rating GOAT status on? Right? Is it about championships or is it about statistics? You know, like what are we saying for GOAT status? I don't know. It's for me to choose. Let me go back. I can't really pick a favorite, I'll be honest, Mash. You'll never use code reliable again? No. No. That's okay. I will say the most goaded member of PM is JM Hawk. Am I doing something on Sunday reliable? I don't know. Probably. Yeah, it's JM Hawk, and the reason why is in my Discord Wrapped, which is like this thing they did this year, I guess. The person that I spent the most amount of time with in calls was him. Even more than my friends. And I guess they count like stages as like a call. So what that means is that JM Hawk spent the most time either in AM or PM listening to me stream. There's a Discord Wrapped, yeah. JM Hawk was um he was in my streams this year for 149 hours. That's what it says. And apparently he didn't DM me once. So what I might do this year, now that this is a new thing, is I'm gonna give an award to JM Hawk for being the #1 listener of my streams. And next year, whoever is the #1 will get an award. Okay. Also, I just want to give a shout out to Page Order. Page Order was in here for a very long time as well. It doesn't say how long, but yeah, they were in PM for many hours as well. It was just Page Order and JM Hawk from PM in the top three. I had my friend Plyo who was in there as well, but I didn't see who else. Okay, somebody's time spent is better than value added. No, you guys are all very, valuable in your own way. But this is the only way that I know was tracked, and yeah. Where do I see this? If you look at the top of your Discord, there'll be a little flag, and if you click on that, it'll tell you a bunch of different stats about your user profile. Um, Basically like a Spotify Wrapped thing. I don't know what the individual person's hours are. I just know the top person, which was like this is what I see. Okay. I wish I had more information, like that would be cool. But this is all I see. Okay. So I have no idea what everyone else's stats are. But I spent 280 hours in voice in Dodgy's Dungeon in 2025. 280 hours. Where do they send you that? It's in Discord. It's at the top. It says checkpoint. 280 hours, that's 10 days. That doesn't even seem like a lot, considering I spent 2.5 hours a day streaming in here almost every day this year. That can't even be right. I feel like that number's not even close to accurate. I definitely spent more time. But yeah. That's me. I sent 25,600 messages. Was in voice for 480 hours. 3.8k reactions. How do you check your Discord Wrapped? I'm not sure. Have a nice weekend, Giuliani. I don't know, Tom. I don't know how the stats work. Talking to Steve might be the funniest thing ever. Yeah, bro. Bro, Steve is a character for sure. A special tag? I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna brainstorm some ideas. A tag would be cool. By the way, guys, I have a feeling the data just isn't right. There's just no way I only spent 480 hours in voice. When did PM turn 1 year old? September 17th, I think. Yeah, I could give tags for people who've been here more than a year. Like 1 year veteran token. Or it could just be like veteran PM veteran. PM vet. How many trading days? I don't know. It's just it can't be accurate. I Yeah, PM stream alone would put me well over that time. I have Okay, so let's go back to the PM videos channel, okay? Because that'll really tell us. Okay. PM videos. Okay. I'm just going back to like January 1st. Okay. Okay, so first video was stream recap number 25. Okay. Since then, I have done 221 streams total divided by 25 or minus 25. That's 196. Let's assume that I streamed for at least 2 hours each day. That's 392 hours of PM. just in the video recaps. So 400 hours. That's why I'm saying like that those numbers just can't be accurate. That's just PM alone. I've spent even more time than that in, you know, dodgy stream and just streamed. I mean, voice with friends. I've probably spent 1,500 hours on Discord this year, maybe more, maybe 2,000. Yeah, Amo. So the PM stream schedule is in this text chat here. All the dates on when I will be off are included there. And then I believe if we look at the schedule for Christmas, I think the Friday after or maybe New Year's Eve, we have Christmas off as well. So let me get that in there as well. Like I won't be available that day, Christmas Eve, so it doesn't really matter, even if the market's open. But I think it's a half day, and then I think also New Year's Eve is a half day, but that could be wrong. So that's kind of how this all works. So we'll only have a 2-day week the week of Christmas. It'll be the 22nd and 23rd. Nice long. Well, the Insta failed. You don't think stage counts as voice chatting? Well, then how do I share 150 voice hours with JM Hawk? I wasn't in calls with JM Hawk for that much time. Like I said, I don't know how this works. Have we done connections? I don't think we did. But now we have to lock in on the charts. And I have to have a meeting at 4 o'clock. Lock in at 3:50. I don't know. It looks like we're about to run the low. Meeting for what? I have a meeting with a new accounting team. Yeah. So we run the low. I guess we could be bearish coming into 350 here. Why aren't I in a penthouse in Miami? Because I have a girlfriend. I don't even know if I'd live in Miami. I'd probably live in Brooklyn. If I didn't, I'd live in probably Brooklyn. I like Brooklyn. But would I have a penthouse? Nah, I wouldn't get a penthouse. I would just get an apartment in Brooklyn. I would just get a nice apartment. Brooklyn, not Brooklyn and Miami, Brooklyn and New York. Yeah. I don't know if I'd live in Europe. I don't think I could do that. Not for any reason, just because it'd be far away from my family. I mean, New York is far, but I mean, planes are, plane rides wouldn't be too bad. A flight from Detroit to like Spain would be like 11 hours. Yeah, exactly. Fahrenheit. Exactly. I guess we want to sell off. Okay, we finally got it. Did the 5 minute ever fail? Oh my god, the 5 minute held that entire time, by the way. That's all we did for PM was just sit inside of a 5 minute gap. Oh my god. What a day. Well, at least we learned a lot today, right, guys? Yeah, exactly. 8 to 9 p.m. p.m. Yeah, it's just um Ape off this next week, you should record yourself trading. And while you're looking to take setups, you should talk about your trade ideas aloud in a similar way that me and Dodgy do while streaming. And then after each session, go back and listen to the key points of your video journal, specifically like when you take trades or when you kind of created like a roadmap for the day or whatever. Oh, this weekend? Oh, I don't know. Rest up. Have a good weekend. You can record yourself with TradingView? Wait, what? Oh, with the camera? No, 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 that's the screenshot. Do we have like a 30-second long here? No. Okay. 2 minute, I guess. Let me do connections real quick. Sorry, tough deal, baby. Sweet sticky pill. What? What? Whoa. Whoa. What is happening? Mastermind, small, delicate operation, complex, status, mousetrap situation. Okay, Jason for sure. And we're dumping. Okay. You want the lows. Is it mastermind? Yeah. I like that. That's cool, Jason. Where's that at the top at publish? Okay. 15-second long? You guys got that. It actually probably works though. Only thing I would consider taking here is the 2 minute. And we actually could get it. Oh god. 30 seconds. Oh wow. Yeah, 2 minute. Oh wow. Okay. I hate taking trades at 350 and I don't like longing into the last gap in the leg, but that's a lot of momentum. And we kind of have like an LRLR thing going on. Let's see. Okay, 2 minute closed above. Let's see. I took it on eval, so I guess we'll see if this prints or if I get wrecked by MOC. This should print. I mean, this was very V-shaped. I literally have a meeting in 5 minutes, so I really hope that this hits quickly. Or does it break even or something? Or it just loses. And it's gonna lose. Great. And it's cooked. Yeah, the 1 minute held. That was a horrible reaction. Well, hopefully 355 saves us. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. This has got to move. Yeah, I'm not really feeling it. I think we might just chop for the rest of MOC. I think I'm just gonna either get out break even here or take the loss. Because I do have to go. So, whatever happens, happens. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I will catch you guys all on Monday. You know, or if you guys tune in for IVGs of the week tomorrow, you know, I might have to do that, but we'll see. Honestly, I'm just gonna get out there for minus $25. Whatever is what it is. Like I said, catch you guys later. Hopefully this trade works out if you're still in it. Obviously, I just had to get out because I have things I gotta do. But yeah, peace out, everyone.